Hey everybody, it's Gomladex and welcome back to another Contender draft of the Hobbit, the most competitive kind of draft event on Arena. We will see if we can't get a trophy run in these Contender drafts while they're still around. Got a 5 winner the first time, and we'll see how far we can take it today. So our opening pack is much weaker than last time. I might just take Goblin Plate Mail here because the aggressive black and red decks are both really good. This is a super consistent, easily castable card in a lot of different strategies. These uncommons are all okay, but not massive reasons to go into any of these colors. I mean, we could take like Magnificent End for a removal spell, but generally quite a weak opening pack there. I'll just take the Goblin Plate Mail on that one. It's an Uneasy Partings this time for pretty good interaction. There is not a whole ton else. I mean, the Opportunist can be a decent value play in red decks, and we are one Goblin Plate Mail deep. There's no blue-black or blue-red deck that is supported with multicolored cards, so it would be slightly weird to go Plate Mail into Partings, but we do not need to be married to our pack one, pick one, especially when it's just a common like Plate Mail. I mean, we could also just take the Warg. Warg could be better than Opportunist. I mean, 2 mana, 2/2 Death Touch means that it's very relevant early and late in the game. It's always a good draw. I don't mind the Warg, but I'll just take Uneasy Partings here. Pick 3 now, Magnificent End. If we're just taking removal again, that'd be a white removal spell, although Patient Instructor is a very good card for any blue deck to go with the Uneasy Partings. Another hybrid card, so it fits into a lot of different strategies. Again, not much going on in the black or the red, just a sentries and a short spear, so maybe the blue is the direction to head towards with Patient Instructor. Let's go for it. Grab Patient Instructor this time around. Another Patient Instructor. There's also Gloin, though. That's our first really good red card. If you're lucky enough that your opponent has at least one toughness creature on board for easy pickings, that's a really, really good deal, and the extra mana it gives you is great. Gloin's pretty big competition for this Patient Instructor. It's really early to say, but I feel like generally blue's more open to than like the red and the black stuff. I'm gonna go for it. I'm taking another Patient Instructor. It also lets us go a completely different direction than our first draft where we were on black-green instead of going for like the black-red deck this time. Nothing incredible here. Pick 5. Troop of Ponies is flexible. You can shove it into anything, but it's never excellent. We could take Confusticate and Bother. This is a really play to the board format, though. The counter spells have definitely been hindered a bit, weakened a bit because of that. I'll just take some ponies. The Ravenhill Flock is incredibly slow, so I don't love that. Wizard Staff is tremendously narrow. Another Confusticate, but I'd rather take Uneasy Partings over that. I think I'm just going to take another Uneasy Partings, but we could also push into white and take this Garrison. We're technically still like mono blue outside of the Plate Mail, but blue-white is the best blue deck, probably. I mean, certainly better than blue-green, and those are the two decks, so I don't think it's crazy to take Garrison either. But we'll grab the Partings. Pick 7 of Beaufort came all the way back around for like blue-white, I guess, but there is also the Reveler for blue-green, but blue-green is slow and awkward in this set. And it's a pretty fast set, so it's kind of a hard sell. Yeah, I'm going to take the Beaufort. Pick 8. Nothing. I guess Moment of Glory, if you have a million ways to recruit, draw a card, discard a card, the flashback spells get a little better. But that's one of the weaker flashback spells. The one that draws cards is the one that's like really good. Yeah, I'm just going to take the counter spell here. There we go. Plunder the Trollshaws. That's a really good one with cards like Patient Instructors. Just a very solid card in general. Take that over Lake Town a little bit. Pick 10, nothing. Just rare draft. Pick 11, I'm going to rare draft. Pick 12, we'll take a Garrison. I guess blue-white stuff it is. Let's recruit some good cards into this deck, shall we? Such as the mythic rare Bilbo, Thief in the Night. 2 mana, 2/2 spells you cast for anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you attack with Bilbo, you can cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery from your graveyard. And if an instant or sorcery were cast this way, put into your graveyard, then exile. The way that it works is because you can cast it the second this attacks, because it's a triggered ability, you do get to cast whatever it is just immediately on the spot, instead of like you can cast it till end of turn. So you can do like a sorcery speed removal spell when you attack with this before they declare blocks. Bilbo, I think, is very, very solid and a card I'm happy to play. If we're lucky, we'll wheel the Plunder the Trollshaws and get another copy of that. Pack 2, pick 2. Riddles in the Dark is a pretty good draw spell, but this is a very aggressive set where it's important to play to the board, where cards like Patient Instructor that can do so with multiple creatures off one spell actually go a little better than the draw spells, as valuable as that one is. So I'm just going to get a third Patient Instructor. This deck is really happy to see more of them. With the triple Patient Instructor and any other recruit that we manage to get, as well as cards like Plunder the Trollshaws, the Lakeshore Apothecary is going to be a really good 2-mana creature, kind of the perfect one we want to always start our curve with, so I'll take that here. Thranduil's Decree is like technically an incredibly valuable card, being able to counter their biggest threat and play it against them. But again, because of how aggressive and fast the set can be, this is a card that's also easy to get stuck in your hand while you're dying on board, and then it just doesn't help you at all, and you have a big, big problem having something like that stuck in your hand. Here's another excellent 2-drop, Master's Counselors now, kind of similar to the Apothecary, where it can do some gnarly stuff while you're recruiting. Pick number 5, another copy of Uneasy Partings. There's also the Toymaker or the Nurturer would be fine. Pick 6, I'm a huge fan of the Plunder the Trollshaws, so I may want to take it over River's Grasp, but I don't think we have a lot of removal right now. Well, we've got triple Uneasy Partings. It's all temporary removal instead of something that actually gets rid of the card forever, like the River's Grasp does, but I'm going to take another Plunder here. Regardless. These 3 cards are the cards I would like to end up cutting by the end of the draft, if things go perfectly. Dwarven Shortsword, I guess. Fine on the curve. Another Garrison top us off. Wow, late Golem. The card's very good. This wouldn't be a crazy deck to run the Hobbit hole, though, since we do have the Mythic Bilbo in it. So it's just like a blue-white sack land that can also tutor Bilbo for flooded out. Dwarven Provisioner. Lake Town. Probably that's it for the pack, although, hey, Velvet Wing Butterflies. Alright, pack 3, do we open up an on-color rare? I mean, technically. Roll, 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 roll. Flicker something 4 times. Not worth spending an entire card on in draft. So we take Bilbo Luckwearer, not Luckweaver, which is actually also quite good. 2 mana, 1/1, unblockable, draw a card, discard a card every time you hit your opponent. That's already a really good rate. And you also have that Burglar's Plot, which comes in handy sometimes to take your opponent's best card and use it against them. Bilbo is a fantastic pickup. Triggers are Lakeshore Apothecary and Master's Counselor style cards every single turn. Pack 3, pick 2, beautiful removal. Removal that also recruits to trigger all the cards that care about that. Happy with it. There's also another Patient Instructor for super lucky. That would be a great card to see come back around. Another Lakeshore Apothecary looks pretty great. Magnificent End and Stone by Sunlight are also good. We're on 4 removal spells. 3 are only temporary, though. But I am really feeling like the Apothecary curve outs are going to be a lot of fun and a lot of damage. I guess Stone by Sunlight is like really flexible. So it kills the big stuff or it saves somebody. It's definitely an argument either way, but I'm going to get another Apothecary. I'm going to get those things in here. Pick 4, another Uneasy Partings. See? We got another removal spell anyway, even if it's weaker than the one we passed up on. Now we got a creature and a removal spell instead of just 2 removal spells in a row. I guess if we're going to play any counter spell, the one that might recruit sometimes is better, but still. Another Garrison. I'm going to play that over Short Sword if nothing else. I'm going to play another Garrison. Pick 6, 2-drop. Super aggressive set. We're going to keep things really low curve. We've got a land in here, so this is 22 non-land cards. We need 23. Old Fat Spider's not bad. The draw 2 for 3, but there's also 5th Uneasy Partings. Alright, we'll play the Fat Spider over a 5th Uneasy Partings. I don't know if I want 2 copies of that. Don't really want a Lake Town Lookout, though. Fifth Uneasy Partings. Oh, the joys of drafting a small set. We could have had like 8 Uneasy Partings if I took them every opportunity. Really don't want that many. Yeah, we're just putting a bunch of stuff in the sideboard at this point. I think we've got our deck fully built. We will call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay and see how far we can take things on our second contender draft of The Hobbit. Okay, I did wheel an incredibly late Decree, and I like that card too much, like more than I should. So I'm going to play a copy over one of these Provisioners. So on a rare occasion when the game goes long, we get to do some stuff with it. And it is better the more Recruit you have in your deck, because that's going to allow you to discard them in the early game if it's stuck in your hand. So we did get one final addition to the deck before we hop into the gameplay, but now with one of Thranduil's Decree, we will call it a deck there, hop into the gameplay, see how far this deck can take us. All right, here we are on the draw for game 1 with a slow start for sure. Draw some cards, play a removal spell, but I'll keep it. It has the chance to stabilize off some of these late game plays. Removal plus a creature, double creature potentially based on what we're discarding to the recruit stuff. Our opponents also on a slower start. They start with the short spear and just play some draw instead of playing any creatures to the board. But hey, there we go. Dwarven Provisioner to get us going. Dory, Bearer of Friends for our opponent. Okay. Probably get our Saga rolling. Oh wow, that's a profitable trade. Alright, I won't be getting any hexproof from the spider thing, but that would still be okay. I guess we can just get the flyer then. Either way. Crack a Hobbit hole over there. For the Swamp. They're on the full Grixis, blue, red, and black. So splash in some random blue card, I guess, into their black-red deck. There's the Opportunist to draw them a card. Draws them. The Bothersome Noisemaker, which is a very powerful one. Kind of like Celebrate the Mountain King here. But also shutting off the damage dealt by the Opportunist would be good too. Save the Mountain King thing for the Noisemaker so they don't recruit as often. Well, not recruit, amass, the other thing that makes creatures. Take a big hit here, but I'm pretty happy that they didn't get another creature this turn off of the Noisemaker. Shut off its damage. Guess it's moderately tempting to run out the Garrison instead, but I just want to get rid of Noisemaker's ability before it does anything. I should not have played my land yet. I forgot we have a tap land in this deck. Another Noisemaker. Ew. Ah, and then the Thoughtseize against my Decree. That's really strong against a big counterspell like that, because they always know that it's up, or they could just make me discard it if they want, but I imagine they discard the Garrison and then play around the Decree. Nope, they discard the Decree. We're chilling then. There's Uneasy Partings. Garrison. Another land, ditch that. Tap land, poke. Smog away the garrison, buff the army. Hit for 5, down to 9. There's Bilbo, which is a really good one if Bilbo lives. Okay, I got the 2-2 to block the 6-2, and we can uneasy partings the army. And then obviously if we don't, then we plunder the troll shaws. Gross. It does mean if we draw the other Bilbo that lets us swap things around, it'll be very strong. I could also partings my own creature here to put it back on top, but I'm taking way too much damage to do that at 8 life right now. If I partings now and then they play another non-creature or a mass card, then it's killing less creatures. I think we wait till the last possible moment. Ooh, there's the other Bilbo I was talking about. That's huge. Yep, and they did play another mass card, so I'm glad I waited on the partings. Exchange control of creature and creature. Play the land for the 3-mana partings. Pass, which is, you know, suspicious awkwardly, but what are you gonna do? Dang it. I was really hoping they didn't have removal there, so then they like equip and attack with both, and I just partings the army, and would have been a beautiful turn, but they just have all gas still. Oh, attacking non-token creature? Oh, well, I'm just dead then, because they got the extra 2 amass from the raider. Alright, well, awkward. Very strong deck from our opponent, and things were a little too slow for us. That'll be 0-1 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 2. Opponent starts with a Lake Town Lookout. We'll start off with the Provisioner, save Bofer for the trick. Down to 19. Plundering the Troll Shaws over there, draw a card. Bard the Bowman, so when they're triggering their draw 2 stuff, they're also getting counters on the board, which is really strong. Just Patient Instructor. Draw a card, Flood Out. Definitely discard a land, no 1/1 for us. Pass turn. They can trigger Bard at instant speed off of this Plunder thing, which is pretty good for them. It's going to make it really easy for them to hold up counter spells and stuff too, because they could just spend the 4 mana on something else if I don't try to play something. Let's see what happens. They're going to draw the 2 and get a counter on the Lookout. Bobby, get rid of Bard. Draw a card. Lots of mana. Discard a land again. Pass the turn. Bilbo scry 2. And they get to play a 2/1 and draw a card as well. They keep 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. Drop their Lake Town Toymaker. Okay, Counselors for some mill is fun. Let's get that rolling with Patient Instructor. find a plunder. Kind of like the extra 1 draw, but also like the 6th mana isn't crazy. I could spend 4 on that, 2 on that. Yeah, this is fine. We'll get the creature out of it then. 3 cards in our grave. They could have flashback cards in their deck, but also if Counselors doesn't die, because they're also like a draw discard kind of deck, we can actually work on like milling them. Like if we get to start holding up the Concerted Care Adventure every turn to keep Counselors around. Oof, hit us for 5 with first strike. Ow, I'll trump that. 5 damage is a pretty good deal for a 1/1 to stop. What do we got? Plunder. We got Bilbo and Apothecary. But I think I want to hold on to Bofer. Tap 2 of my creatures. Sure. Magnificent End the Counselors. I'll protect it. Unless they've got the double removal. They do. Rough. Go to 15. Another Patient Instructor, and we can trigger Apothecary. Another Plunder. And I can play Bilbo. We did just force double interaction on Master's Counselors, so maybe Bilbo gets to stick around. Although one of the things they used was a counter spell, so. Yeah, they still have more removal. Sad. Pass through, draw a land, let's plunder. Old fat spider can't see me. That can get some triggers going on Apothecary. Run it out. They have a 2-mana removal spell for Apothecary? No, they have the tap spell. Okay. Eagles rescue the lookout into the sky. Uneasy partings should be pretty great against that now. There's our own Velvet Wing Butterflies now, though. Tap both their creatures. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I could add another 4, but I'm just gonna Butterflies. Magnificent End, our buffer. We still have exactly 8 power on the board if everybody gets in. Draw a card, trigger Apothecary again. Luckweaver's a good draw with a stunned Bilbo. to trade off. This is 9 damage if nothing happens here. Get in there. Draw a card with their plunder. It's not enough. That's 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. 1-1 right now. This is a good curve. Counselors into the instructor for an immediate trigger. Could also now just start with the Bilbo. Set up our draws and play counselors next turn, triggering it every turn. Amassing some goblins over there. Alright, I should get rid of the 6-drop here. Take 2. There's a wargling. There's plunder. Draw, discard off Bilbo before I decide anything. Okay, plunder's a good discard. We're trying to work our way up the mana. Maybe discard Provisioner here, or discard another plunder. Okay. No 4th land. There's Chief Warg for our opponent, but no 4-power creature for them yet. There's our 4th mana. Deal with the Chief Warg. Before it gets any triggers. Man, we are... And it's probably a good thing to hit this many spells. It's just kind of wild. There we go. I'm just going to start casting these garrisons. With this many creatures out, those are going to be absolute chonkers. Stir up trouble on the counselors. Sad, no more mill. I think we just take that with the garrisons in hand to get the buffs. Should still post-combat this, technically. Just overly excited. Plunder of the Trollshaws are really good in this kind of deck. Okay, I should actually pre-combat 2 creatures now so that we have 6 power. Boom, boom. Trigger Apothecary, get a counter on it. Cool. Mill of Partings. Rage into the valley. Can Bilbo cast here? In Uneasy Partings on something? For 3 mana, and then I have 3 up to play a Plunder. Guess that's not crazy to do. intended to use that draw spell during their turn for an extra counter, but if they block in a way where we can win the fight by getting the counter immediately, then we'll just do that. We're vibing. Attack with Apothecary and Bilbo here. I'm gonna recruit first, get the Apothecary counter immediately. I guess they could double block Apothecary. That's slightly bad. I mean, with no removal spells in hand, we just tap those down and we're not really worried about the triggers. Six life over there. Still have 2 more uneasy partings in the deck, and if we find one, we basically win. I'm gonna dig. Beautiful. We do win, right? Block there, block there. No, not quite. I mean, they'll just block in ways where they could get a thing back and we parting, so they don't get a thing back, and that'll be game in 2 turns. Not a single swing, but still. Okay. The blocks are already bad enough for them. They're going to scoop it up, and that is 2-1 now, heading into game number 4. All right, here we are on the play for game number 4. 2-1 right now. No creatures on the board early is often a problem in this format, but I'm not going to mulligan the good mana openers like this. Turn 1 Nasty Little Rabbit is very scary. There's actually some 4-power 2-mana creatures in the set even. Some of the uncommons, like the 2-mana 2/2 that they can pay 2 life to buff up. Luckily, they don't have any of those. So it'll be a moment before the rabbit does anything. There's a creature fashionably off curve. There's a lot of 3-mana 4-power creatures, even just in mono green, the hybrid mana cards. So I'm not so sure our 2/2's even going to be able to block well, because this might be a 2/3 rabbit really quickly. So I'm just going to start the spider thing, and then we can shut off all the damage it's doing the next 3 turns. Okay, they're just going to ramp up with the troop of ponies and attack for 1 damage, which is fine. Prevent all the rabbit damage. And Provisioner's not the craziest right now. Still just draw cards. And there's a Wargling, 2/2. Still no 4-power creature for them. They would have played one if they had one so that they could get the counters on the rabbit even if it isn't hitting yet. So that's pretty cool to see. Counselors and Apothecary are both really good, with the old fat spider triggering again next turn. So I like running these out, and that also lets me cast multiple cards so that I don't have to discard the hand size. Oh, they just have the gray dog. It's just a bunch of small stuff still. Gigantic big bear. I stand corrected. That is not particularly small. And with the Wargling giving trample every turn, that is going to demolish me. So we need to kill the Wargling, and then we need to have a 1/1 every single turn to chump block the big bear. Oh my god, their deck is good. They've got a Chief Wargs company too. Okay. Yeah, the hexproof on the big bear is a big issue. We need to make sure we're getting a 1/1 every single turn. Let's celebrate the Mountain King, hopefully draw land. You know what? I should play Bilbo over Provisioner right now, probably, if I do hit a land. So let's go Mountain King on Rabbit. Do not hit a land. Feels too late for Decree. We are really playing to the board here. Alright, well, we've got the blocks we need to stop all their damage for the turn. If they ever draw that trample trick, it's over. Garrison for the 1/1. It's our only card that makes a 1/1 chumper this turn. There's another one with a Patient Instructor. Oh my god, the head of the hunt too. I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. Probably attack in here, but they're holding for something. It might just be full control mode. Get me a 1/1 every turn. Crazy wants to tap double blue when our hand is all blue spells. Deadly Slice Counselors is fine. Maybe we're actually trying to block with 7 power now. Wood Elves for another land. They could start cracking the Mirkwood, though. They could put more counters on the Big Bear so I can't block with 7 power. But they don't. They pass, and another Garrison. So that each one's individually big enough here is a huge, huge, huge deal. Discarding Partings for the creature to trigger both Garrisons. I mean, not trigger exactly, but you know what I mean. Another Patient Instructor for 2 more creatures. Don't mind if I do. At least 1 more creature. Alright, I'll play this land. It means I have Partings up. Not that I really can use it against the Hexproofer. But in theory. Troll Negotiations fight Bilbo. Now it's got 9 toughness. Big yikes. Now it's got 11 toughness. But if they ever attack... If they ever attack, they are taking like lethal crackbacks quickly. Look at all this. Ooh, that's a 7/7. Dang it. I've got the mana to cast 2 Uneasy Partings. Artifact, instant, or sorcery. Play Burglar's Plot on Hospitality. Play Uneasy Partings. I think I'm supposed to go Flunge. And with the vigilance too, it's like flunge. I can do Bilbo. I don't have the mana to Bilbo and Uneasy Partings. Oh yeah, I do. It's 4 mana to Burglar's Plot. Okay. And 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pass turn, kill them on one more swing. Chief Warg to draw 1 card. There's the concession from our opponent. That is 3-1 heading into game 5. All right, here we are on the play for game number 5. We are already at least a 50-50 record no matter what at 3-1 here, which means we're going to get some of our prizes back. But if we win this game, that's pretty much the break-even point. Getting 2,800 gems and 6 packs. Okay, let's get the Bilbo rolling here so we can set up our draws and make sure we don't miss any lands. Our opponent leads with a Hobbit hole grabbing an island. Blue, white, or blue, green. Blue, green it is. And I should say those are just the most likely decks. Technically, you don't have to play the colors together. It's either blue, green, and black. Bilbo does find a land for us, which I'll use to play a Patient Instructor. Which finds the 4th land for the Celebrate, which I'll use to discard Butterflies, and then we'll Plunder or Partings next turn. 4 mana up, maybe. Guardian of the Halls, get their 2/2 down. Their 5th land. Discard that to Bilbo, probably. Just holding up Partings or Plunder. There's Bjorn. This is not a bad Partings target. Yeah, I'll just Partings. Bjorn goes to the bottom. Just a full removal spell for us. Swing. They're down to 12. More lands to ditch. Patient Instructor probably also discarding a land. Yep, because we can cast this Apothecary, which gets triggered off of all these cards. Sylvan Reveler. They discard a card, or draw a card, then discard a card. Put a land into play. Old fat spider can't see me. I do like that, but we've got a ton of pressure on them if we just jam, clear the board right now. So let's do that. Another Apothecary. I should not have sent in the 1/1 token, but hey. Still got in there. They're down to 6. There's an Adder Cop to block Lakeshore Apothecary. Bent Blade to kill a 1/1. Might be one of the best things about these recruit decks is that they're pretty good against Crude Bent Blade. I don't hate the pre-combat garrisons, so that Apothecary is a little bit bigger if they choose to block somewhere else for some reason, but I doubt they will. Down to 2. Discard a land. There's a Mirkwood Nurturer on the blade, which is a fun combo, but with all these 1/1s, it is not going to save them. They play it to send a message, but that's going to be 4 and 1, at least at the break-even point here, and a positive record out of this draft. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. This is a really lovely hand with double Apothecary into all these different ways to trigger them. Uh-oh. They've got a wonderful hand as well with an early bothersome Noisemaker. But I guess if they block, I plunder to kill this Noisemaker because it's scary. If they don't block, I might just play another Apothecary, but it would also be valuable to hit my lands as quickly as possible, which could involve plundering immediately. But I'm going to get greedy and maximize counters and have 2 of them out. Oh god, no. So whenever they amass, would have missed the land off plunder anyway. Whenever they amass, we take 2, and when their armies, goblins, orcs die, they also draw a card. That's incredibly bad. Alright, I think that sequencing actually worked out about as well as it could have for us, because if I did plunder last turn, I still wouldn't have had land to play that turn, and I did have it now. But this way I have it now and 2 counters. Pinecone Strike, one of my Apothecaries. And a Goblin Plate Mail, also triggering the Great Goblin. Menacing up the gigantic creature, triggering the Great Goblin again. This is an insane start. I guess I can Uneasy Partings the army? Oh my god, we're so dead. You got it. I'm just going to move on that one. Incredible opening hand from our opponent, and that'll be 4 and 2 heading into game 7. Alright, well, this sucks. We are going to be immediately against the exact same opponent, and they are on the play. This could be an unlucky ending to this draft. That doesn't feel particularly fair. Turn 1 Tidings of War. Turn 2 Plate Mail. Here it comes. The Hobbit. I mean, nothing I play blocks here yet anyway. Let's play Bilbo. so that even if we draw poorly, we are digging farther to hit the lands faster. They have the bent blade anyway, whichever line I take. And we missed the land. Ay, ay, ay. Plunder. Missed the land. Slap the blade onto their army, hit for 5, go to 9. Draw for turn, miss the land. If I play a creature here because Menace, I can't block at all, and then they can amass and hit me to 1. But 1 is not 0. But if I pass to tap, like, I have to discard the hand size. Both options are really bad. Just got a pine cone anyway. Go to 1. Miss land again. The thing is here, like, if we were hitting our lands, like, we'd have a partings by now after they put all that amassing into that thing. Just one partings would go so far, but we have not drawn a single land even through some draw spells. Tragic, there's absolutely nothing we can do. Brutal ending to this draft. Play against the same opponent twice, they're on the play each time, curving out on us, and we're missing lands each time. Especially the second loss, that was like really, really bad miss lands. The first loss, they had a really good hand, so even though we did hit a land or two, missing just a little bit put us really far behind, but that final loss was just unplayable. All we needed was like one copy of Partings, and theoretically we have a lot of time to stabilize and build up the board after that, but we just couldn't hit a single land, and that is magic, baby. I thought this deck was pretty great. The ways that we lost were really rough variants, especially, you know, the 2 losses in a row in such rapid succession in the end. Yeah, I think this is a great way to build blue-white. I'm pretty happy with the deck. Just cannot win them all. Sometimes you're going to play against some really strong decks. Black-red is the strongest archetype in the set, and that was a super powerful build of it with some great rares and a lot of the premium commons. So that was going to be an uphill battle in general, but especially missing some land draws. So it happens. 4 and 3 will be the record for this contender draft. Luckily enough, still a very positive record. We are doing perfectly fine on gyms. We're not really paying anything to play these events, at least breaking even or better each time so far. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.